Hey, podcaster. I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can grow your authority and convert with ease. Today's tip is manage your music. Have you ever been at a bar or a party where the music is really loud and it's a struggle to have a conversation? It's kind of annoying, but part of the party experience. But when it's part of a podcast experience, it's just annoying. Music can be a really important part of your podcast, but let me be clear, nobody, and I mean nobody, showed up for the music. Unless, of course, your podcast is about music, your music should be used only as a background or to set the tone quickly so you can get to the good stuff. Yes, even when your music is awesome. I've had people tell me that they literally have a little dance they do with my theme music, which is fantastic. It's excellent. It's exactly what you want. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that some people actually hate my music. But luckily, they never have to sit through much of it before I get to the content which they're actually tuning in for. In this episode, I cover what your music should be and what it should not be. Your podcast music should not be the first entire minute of your show. I've heard this more than once. Yes, I can skip, but is that really what you want people to be doing at the beginning of your show? Keep it to 5 to 10 seconds or less. Just set the tone and get to it. Your music also should not be so loud that your listener is straining to hear what you're saying. You know, that whole thing I did off the top, that party listening vibe. It does not belong in your podcast. Mix that shit down. Your music should not be used as a random cover-up. I called out a client on this recently. He confessed that he threw some music in to cover up the fact that there was a lot of background noise during his recording. So I gently gave him shit. In that case, you either postpone recording or do a test recording to see if it actually is an issue, but covering something up that may be distracting with something else that will definitely be distracting or confusing is not cool. And your music should not be played for the duration of your podcast. This may just be me, but I can't stand when I faintly hear music in the background constantly fighting for my attention. Unless you are doing a guided meditation or something, the music is not helping to set the tone. It is just distracting. Now, don't let this scare you off from using music in your podcast. Music can play an important role. It can set the mood off the top and be a part of your branding. I like to think that, love it or hate it, when you hear those first few beats of my theme music, you know where you are and that you're about to be served a quick podcast tip with a side of smartass. I also recommend music to close out your show, kind of like musical bookends. But be careful about this because it may trigger your listener to turn your show off prematurely, so you may want to mix things up a little. Music near the end of your show shouldn't always spell the end of your episode. A lot of the time it's where your CTA or call to action might be. And don't be afraid to get creative. Use music to punctuate a point or a transition to signify a change in topic or to reset your interview. Check out episode 8 for how to use the reset. I'm also sharing in my show notes a link to episode 82 on how to pick the right music. In short, you want your music, to be short, but you want to manage your music. You want that music to enhance and not distract. Just remember, your show is not for you, it's for your listener. Think of them and the fact that they may not have the same musical taste as you when you are carefully peppering in the tunes. And I hope that's just the tip you need. If you found this episode useful, then may I say, That means you need to subscribe or follow this show in your favorite podcast app, or binge the hell out of all of them since they're only 5 minutes long. I'm here to make sure that your next episode is better than your last. Got questions? Ask me anything at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Wahlberg. See ya!